Welcome to another episode of the PNW Sports Report NFL Edition, your one-stop shop for everything NFL and college football related. On today's show, we have a busy show giving you our NFL awards, Super Bowl predictions, NFC playoffs, AFC playoffs, and much more. We are going to jump right into it. And we're going to start with giving our rookie grades from the first 2 weeks of the preseason. And Bradley, I will let you go first with yours.
Okay.
What rookies did you choose? And before we start, I want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Jalen McMillan, who is probably going to be out for a long time for the Buccaneers with a severe neck injury.
And
So speedy recovery to Jalen McMillan.
just means the guy that I picked for my offensive rookie of the year will be shining very well.
Well, and a guy we talked about a couple weeks ago, Trey Palmer, is now going to get an opportunity to be
To
starting
play.
receiver.
I'll start, Bud, with Cam Ward. Obviously, big coming out of the University of Miami. Tennessee really didn't have the greatest quarterback situation last year. I give him an A minus through the first 2 weeks. Obviously, he's going to be the starter. I think we all kind of know that. I don't see him playing that much in week 3, which is the final week of the preseason this week. I don't see a lot of starters going. You don't want to risk injury like you just mentioned, Jaden McMillan. You don't want to hurt your guys that are going to start and jeopardize the regular season over games that really don't mean anything. I mean, yeah, there are teams that are 2-0. The Bucs are 2-0. The Patriots are 2-0 in preseason. But it doesn't matter when we roll into week 1, everyone's 0-0. So, yeah, I would say Cam Ward, I would say so far, I give him an A minus so far. That would be my grade for him.
I would say I'd give him an A minus too. He does have a little bit to work on, like leading his receivers into open spots on the field. That's
Right.
what I've noticed with the first 2 games. Like his first preseason game, he and not to say because there is a guy I'm going to talk about later on in this segment, but his first preseason game, he couldn't hit the bright side of a barn. If you look at the highlights, the second week, couldn't go wrong.
Yeah.
The next guy I'm going to grade is Emeka Ibuka, and his stock just went through the roof with the Jalen McMillan news. And well, we already knew Chris Godwin was going to be out for probably the first, give or take, month and a half of the season.
I was going to say, would you say 3 games?
Probably
3
the first 3 or 4 games of the year.
Yeah.
So I give, who did I forgot who I said already?
Ibuka.
Oh, Ibuka. I give Ibuka an A plus. And Jason Light knew what he was doing with this pick because he knew Godwin was going to be out. He had no idea that Jalen McMillan was going to get hurt. So, and for those people that were clowning on the Buccaneers taking Ibuka in the first round, well, that's looking like a heck of a good pick now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Down McMillan, down Godwin. The next one I've got is Travion Henderson from the Patriots. Another, and we might use this word a lot in this segment. This was in my opinion, this was the steal of the draft. Travion Henderson going to the Patriots. I think he's locked himself. I'm not going to say into a starting role, but into a sizable role for the Patriots in week 1. And I have a couple fantasy jobs coming up, and I am not if he's there at my pick, I am taking him. I'm not letting him slide past.
I think he'll be a good RB2 for the Pats. I think.
I think it's going to be a split backfield. Not committee, but I think they're going to both get 50.
Yeah. 50-50.
Yeah. Another rookie that has had a good preseason is a guy we talked about last year when he was at Virginia Tech, Bashal Tootin. I think and I believe he got picked up by the Jags as an undrafted free agent, which that was a really good pickup because they got Travis Etienne, they've got Tank Bigsby.
I think Etienne's on his last legs, I think, in Jacksonville. I think he's going to be he'll be on a new team next year. Maybe a change of scenery for him.
Mm-hmm. And I give this, I know it was a UDFA pickup for the Jags, but I give it an A+. Because this kid Bashal Tootin might start for the Jags.
Why not? I mean, sometimes you don't have to be drafted to be a success.
Well, and here's another example. The Commanders took a kid that played one game last year at Arizona, and then the NCAA came out and said, oh, by the way, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, you're ineligible because you have no eligibility left. And he was taken in the 6th round. And it sounds like he might be the week 1 starter for the Commanders. They're talking about Brian Robinson either being traded or cut.
Yeah, I've heard the trade rumor for him a lot in the last.
And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, that gets a double A+ for me.
I like that.
Who's your next couple?
You were talking about running backs. I don't think you can ever forget Austin Genty. I just, dude, obviously.
Oh, speaking of Genty, did you see what he did to that poor DB on the 49ers?
Yeah, I'm just, dude. I mean, he's.
Somebody go check on that defensive back, please.
There are many, and my co-host will probably tell you that
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry type maybe should have won the Heisman.
Yep, because snaps are not a stat.
I think that was my pick to win. I mean, I don't know if I remember if I picked Travis Hunter or I picked him, but anyway, he's got.
No, I think we both picked Genty to win. He got robbed.
He's got an A+ on a team that I think coming into the season, and we'll get into the picks and records and stuff in a few minutes, that there's not really a lot to they're not expecting a lot, but when you have Tom Brady as a minority owner, there are things that have to be done a certain way. But anyway, to give him a grade, I would say an A+ through the first 2 weeks. Again, I don't think you're not going to see him this week. I think everyone that is going to be a starter, or even not maybe the 1, maybe a 2. I think your A group and B group on each team, I think, have already been solidified. This is just reserve guys, or your depth players, or your practice squad guys are going to play in this week to make the team.
Yeah. So like guys like Cam Miller for the Raiders and whoever their 3rd string running back is.
Right.
Because Mostert's going to be the number 2.
Yes. The former.
Which that's the great backup running back to have to mentor Ashton Genty.
Yes.
Who else do you have?
I have offensive guard Tyler Booker for the Dallas Cowboys. Yes. I know the Cowboys are the joke, Jerry Jones, whatever. But at the end of the day, we all know when the Cowboys were successful, what did they have? One of the best
offensive lines
in the NFL. Why do you think Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin are all in the Hall of Fame? All 3 of them. And Nate Newton, who was on that offensive line, they're all in the Hall of Fame. Jay Novacek down the list. they're all in the Hall of Fame for one reason, because of the great offensive line that the Cowboys had. He's fitting in very well. I'll give him an A- B+ situation, but again, you have to protect Dak. He's he's the guy. He's the franchise guy, and they're stuck with him. I mean, not stuck with him. That's who they've paid to be their starting quarterback. So it's got to be him. The next one, but I have is Trey Harris, the wide receiver for the Chargers. Got to give him an A. We were just talking pre-show about Jim Harbaugh, but that's a different story. But anyway, the Chargers.
Well, you know what? Let me throw something at you for Trey Harris. With the Quentin Johnston news that he's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks with a concussion, does that boost Trey Harris's stock to be in 12 personnel for the Chargers?
I would think so. I mean,
you've got Lad McConkey, you've got on the wrong side of 30, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I was going to say, Justin Herbert he's got the Tom Brady syndrome. Not enough weapons. They just don't give the man weapons to succeed. And sooner or later they will. And maybe this is one of those weapons that he can use this season with all the injuries to the wide receiving room there in LA. San Diego. I still call him San Diego, but that's
I also give that Trey Harris pick, I give it an A. He was one of my sleeper wide receivers for the draft, and the Chargers got a good one. I know he didn't have a lot of success in college, but a guy I don't think has had a good preseason is, and I know Alabama fans, and I've already heard it from people on Instagram, Jalen Milroe. I give Jalen Milroe a C+. The lowest grade I give any rookie. He is, and you can, I mean, I would think you would probably agree with me. He is very raw. He needs to sit on the bench and learn from Sam Darnold.
Well, he was a questionable quarterback. I can remember him struggling against USF when they were here playing the Bulls 2 years ago. He was struggling. He struggled in college at times. So, yeah, if he's raw, you got some work to do, young man. I mean, yeah. So,
yes.
I mean, yeah. So I wish him the best of luck, but yeah, he's got some work to do.
Yeah, I do too. And then the last rookie I've got is another running back, not Ashton Genty, because you took Ashton. You kind of took Ashton Genty from me. It is DJ Giddens from the Colts. I give him a B+. He would have gotten A, but he really needs to work on his pass blocking. Perfect example. First preseason game when he had the chance to block a defensive lineman and completely missed the block. And his quarterback got absolutely demolished.
Broke his
finger. And Anthony Richardson is not the starter. It is Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yep. I'll give one more, and I think this might be the future for the Giants defense, and that's Abdul Carter.
Oh yeah, yes.
And I know, when he came out of college, he wanted to wear 56, obviously in honor of Lawrence Taylor. We all know LT. I mean, I grew up watching LT. Still remember the sack on Joe Theismann where Joe Theismann broke his leg. I wouldn't suggest you watch that clip. It's
that I wouldn't suggest watching that or Alex Smith.
Or Alex Smith, yeah. But Abdul Carter, I think, is the next generation of what edge rushers are going to be like. He was great at Penn State, and he's showing why the Giants took him. And I gave him an A+ as far as I'm concerned with Abdul Carter. Yeah,
I do. I would too. The next segment is our awards predictions for this season. And we're going to start with the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the AFC and the NFC. Who do you have?
It's funny we talked about both of these guys just a few minutes ago. I'll start with the AFC because I'm an AFC guy. I got to go with Trevon Henderson, the running back with the Patriots.
How could you not? 100-yard kick return touchdown in the preseason.
Yeah, he's going to be a main staple. And the Patriots have been down for the last few seasons. This could be Mike Vrabel is bringing them out of the so-called hell that Bill Belichick left them in when he left. But and it's bad as a Patriots fan to say that about Bill Belichick, but it is what it is. And the NFC, it's got to be Ibuka. I mean, like Alec mentioned earlier, his stock has just gone through the roof. McMillan's going to be out for how many games? And pray to God we don't lose Mike Evans. Pray to Lord we don't lose Mike Evans.
Yeah, because then it gets down to
because
Ibuka, Trey Palmer.
Yeah, then you got then it gets really.
You know what? I'd throw a dark horse in there for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC.
Go ahead.
Efton Chisholm from the Patriots.
Did I have him on my list? Okay.
And I'm saying that because I think he's going to make their 53-man roster. And people have been talking about, he could be the next Julian Edelman.
That would be cool. Julian was he was a good one when he was here. He was good when he was a Patriot.
My Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC is also Travion Henderson. For obvious, in this, again, no bias. I am a Buckeye fan, but this is unbiased Ohio State fan talking here. What a pick it was for the Patriots. And an Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC, I went kind of off the board. I didn't want to be the homer pick and go Ibuka. Luther Burden II from the Bears. All the coaches have been gloating about him in camp. He's been getting high praises from Caleb Williams. And it seems Ben Johnson is changing the culture in Chicago. Heads up, I might have just spoiled who my coach of the year is. Who is your defensive rookie of the year?
In the AFC, now this might be a long shot, but I'm going to go with this guy, Mike Green, the linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. And the reason that I say that is the Ravens have always had a good linebacker core. Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, just to name a few. Just to name a few that have worn that Ravens uniform.
Now Patrick Queen's not there. Who's the kid they took from Michigan a couple years back? Ajabo,
yeah. So Green, I think, kind of got a little bit of slack coming out of college. I think there was something happened to him. That's why he fell to the second round. But I think the Ravens got a stud. I think he's going to be in the thick of it with sacks and tackles. That was my AFC guy. My NFC guy, I was just talking about a great preseason. How can it not be Abdul Carter? How can it not be Abdul Carter at linebacker for the
Giants?
Yeah, the Giants. So, yeah, I'm just
my defensive rookie of the year in the AFC is Derek Harmon from the Steelers.
Okay.
And people say, this is not the most Steelers pick to make in the first round. Yes, it is. Mike Tomlin's been known to take really good defensive players in the first round. I believe TJ Watt was a first round pick. I believe Cam Hayward was too. Joey Porter Jr. was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just the latest one. The Steelers know how to draft defensively. Their issue is drafting offensively.
Offensive, yes. Yep.
And then my defensive rookie of the year. This is where I went kind of homers. Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. Defensive back. He's gonna play a big, well, he's hurt right now, but I think he'll be fine week 1. He's gonna play a big role on this defense for the Buccaneers. Who is your offensive player of the year in the NFC and the AFC?
Offensive player of the year. Did I not pick that? Oh my lord, I didn't. Did I not do that? Whoops.
I forgot to put it down on mine too.
Offensive player of the year. Trying to think of.
I'll give you mine first.
Okay.
NFC, Jaden Daniels.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
Jaden Daniels had a really good rookie year, and I know Eagles fans are saying, "Oh, he's the best ever rated quarterback." Why? Because you have Jalen Hurts, and you think Jalen Hurts is better than every other quarterback in the NFL. All Jalen Hurts is good for is the tush push, which is one of the most OP plays in the NFL.
Try to get it eliminated.
Mm-hmm. AFC Player of the Year. As much as I want to go with Travis Hunter, I just can't. And it's not because I'm not a Jags fan. It's more of he's going to play both offense and defense. So I'm going to go with Ashton Genty of the Raiders.
Yeah.
For Offensive Player of the Year. Defense. Defensive Player of the Year, I think it's a lot more tougher to pick. There's a lot of guys you could choose. AFC, how could you not go with a guy like, I'm going to say Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
in the NFC.
I would say he wins
NFC Player of the Year.
Yeah.
NFC Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Abdul Carter. For obvious reasons. AFC Defensive Player of the Year. There's a whole list you could go with. You could go TJ Watt. You could go Myles Garrett.
I probably lean towards Myles Garrett because
I'm going to throw this is way out in left field. Joey Porter Jr. from the Steelers.
His dad was a great player.
Joey Porter. Yes, he was. Who are your offensive and defensive players in the year in the AFC and NFC?
Offensive player of the year, you got to go with Saquon Barkley. The dude is just, it's the Eagles. It's the Eagles. I think they're the favorite to win it again this year. You got to go with him. AFC, this might sound really biased, but I'm going to go with Patty Mahomes. How do you not unless it's Josh Allen? But the only other way you can
or maybe Bo Nix.
See, Bo Nix was a surprise to me last year.
I feel like he's being slept on.
I remember Bo Nix when he played at Auburn, when the Gators beat them in the swamp, and everybody wrote him off. Oh, he's done. He went to Oregon and kind of rebranded himself. And look what happens when you get good head coaching as a rookie quarterback.
Sean Payton.
Payton.
I feel like he's being slept on for AFC Offensive Player of the Year.
So those would be my two offensive guys. Defensively, again, we were just talking about Abdul Carter. He's got to be up there for the NFC. The AFC defensive, you could say J.J. Watt, but
you mean TJ?
TJ Watt. I'm sorry, J.J.'s retired. I'm going to go on a long branch here and say Kalijah Canty, for the Buccaneers. I think he's going to have a blowout year. Something tells me that defensive line or Vita Vea, someone in that defensive line is going to be awesome for the Bucs this year. So I'm going to go with those.
So wait, that was so NFC was Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter, I'm sorry, that's right. And then the AFC defense. Oh, so I got to pick a customer from the AFC. That's right, because they're not in the AFC. The Bucs are in the NFC. AFC. Trying to think of a defensive player.
Go with a long shot. Somebody that not a lot of people are talking about. That's kind of what I did with Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody that like you said, that isn't that no one talks about. That could be. Trying to think AFC wise. Oh, let's see. You got the Bills, Dolphins. I'm trying to think of somebody. Hang on a second. Let me look him up.
What about Carson Swessinger from the Browns?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I said Myles Garrett. Oh, I forgot about that. Myles Garrett. I'll take Myles Garrett.
Now we get to who is your coach of the year?
All right, so this is going to be a long shot, but I'm going to go with Pete Carroll of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Old man Pete.
The reason I say that is he's got a team. I think he's got the backing as far as general manager and ownership, that type of thing. So I just have a funny feeling. Am I going to tell that the Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl? No. I just think that they're going to be a better team this year. And and then he's got Austin Genti. He's got the pieces in place to get that team back to winning and to be more relevant again before they move to Vegas. But yeah, that's my pick. It's a long shot, but that's my pick.
My coach of the year is a little more. I don't want to say it's not. I mean, you could say it's a long shot, but Ben Johnson with the Bears.
It's a good one.
Offensive-minded head coach. The Bears needed somebody new on that building. Matt Eberflus just wasn't moving the needle.
That's right.
Who is your comeback player of the year?
Aiden Hutchinson. How can it not be, dude? The man was hurt last year. He's a big part of that Lions defense. That coaching staff is completely different. They lost both their OC and DC in the same year. He's going to be my comeback player of the year is Aiden Hutchinson.
How about I've got my comeback player of the year, Chris Godwin for the Buccaneers. Coming off a major knee injury again. And yes, he's probably going to miss the first maybe 2-3 games of the year. But once he comes back, he's going to be a focal point in the passing offense for the Buccaneers, which we expect Baker Mayfield to have another great season.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to our division winners. And I will let you go first with yours. I went NFC South, NFC West, NFC North.
Okay.
NFC East. And I just did the team that's going to finish in first place, obviously. So go ahead with yours.
The NFC East is the Eagles. That's my pick. I really honestly believe that the division is going to be up in the air. I think the Commanders will be right there. Dallas will be right. I think the only team that's not going to be there is the Giants. They're not far, but they're not there yet. So my pick.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Does Brian Dable survive the entire season? Because there's people out there saying, oh, the Giants are going to go 0-17. I don't
see that. I don't see them that bad.
When do you see Jackson Dart taking over? Because Russ is the starter. But we've seen this experiment before.
I think what's going to happen with Wilson is you've seen the better days of Russell Wilson. I think his better days are behind him. So I could see him starting. I could see Jackson Dart being a starter by either week 4 or week 5. I really think, honestly, and I think I think their head coach, if they get off to a bad start, may not even be there for the I think the interim coach will come in and then they make that change to Jackson Dart. That's why you drafted the kid. So it makes sense to get him to be a starter. You drafted
So
him.
that was the NFC East. NFC North. Who do you have winning?
Now this is going to be the most competitive division, I think, in all of football, because all 4 of these teams could win that division hands down. All 4 of them do.
Let me say something before you pick. I've seen people out there saying, "Oh, the Lions are going to fall back down to mediocrity and they're going to miss the playoffs."
No, I don't know. They got too good of a football team to make.
And they got one of the best head coaches in the NFL.
They do, and one of
biting kneecaps himself.
Strangest ways to start your head coaching tenure than that what Dan Campbell did. But I have to go with the girlfriend's team. I got to go with the Packers. That's my pick. I think it's going to be Green Bay and Detroit when it's all said and done. Minnesota, it's all going to depend on the quarterback.
J.J. McCarthy.
And then Chicago, Ben Johnson's got work to do. But again, this is probably going to be the most competitive division in all of maybe the whole league, maybe the NFC. But that's my pick, is the Packers to win the North. The NFC, the West. This is tough because all 4 of these teams are. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think we haven't seen the last of Matthew Stafford yet, and they have one of the best head coaches in all of the NFL. So I have to go with the
Sean
Rams.
McVay. I've actually met him before. My dad used to know somebody that worked for the Outback Bowl, and they had this gala thing, the Outback Bowl dinner. And one of the years, Sean McVay was there. So I've got to meet Gruden. I've got to meet Sean McVay. Sean McVay is one of the coolest guys. You can sit and talk to him for 10 to 15 minutes about the NFL.
Well, and if you, the funny thing about him is he has like a stone cold memory. You can ask him about a play in a game that happened 5 years ago, and he can tell you what happened on the play. He has the greatest memory of
He comes from the greatest coaching tree in the NFL.
Correct.
Shanahan coaching tree.
My pick for the West is the Rams. My pick for the South is the team that's on my hat and the team that's behind me. It's their division to win. I know they have some injuries to start the year. And pray as Buccaneer fans we don't lose Mayfield or Evans, because if we do, that's bad news. But if we don't, the Bucs will win the division. I think the Falcons will be the second best. The basement will be the Saints. The Panthers will be right there. They're going to win. The Panthers will win more games than they did last year.
Yeah, I've heard people say, "Oh, the Panthers are going to win 9 games and maybe sneak into the playoffs." I think they're a year away.
That's a little far-fetched to go.
I think they're a year away.
Yes.
So my NFC Division 1 predictions. NFC South, obviously the Buccaneers. It's their division to lose. I don't get people that are saying, "Oh, the Falcons are going to win the NFC South." Do we need to do a little flashback to last year?
I was going to say they had the Division 1 and then you blew it.
Yeah, then you famously, like you did against the Patriots, you choked it away to the Buccaneers. Thank you very much.
Yep.
We'll take it. NFC North. I think this is going to be the Bears division. Now, as you said, I do see it being really competitive. I could also see everybody just it being a dogfight to see who wins the division. And it's like I said earlier, Ben Johnson has instilled a new culture in the Bears, and I think the Bears will win this division. NFC West, the Rams. It's kind of obvious. I mean, Seattle's going to be up there. People are saying, oh, Seattle could steal this division. Maybe. But it's just, with Seattle, it just depends on what Sam Darnold you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And then the 49ers, they lost a ton. And they've got Jawan Jennings is trying to get a new contract. And they really only have, George Kittle's there.
And they got a healthy CMC. So
that people are claiming looks like pre-injury CMC.
Yeah.
And their only healthy wide receiver right now is a guy that was at the University of Florida the year before last year, Ricky Pearsall.
The one that got shot.
Yeah.
Shot twice in his rookie season. Yeah. Guys. Yep.
Well, no, it was him and Brian Robinson, right?
Yeah, they were, I think they were getting carjacked, I think is what was going on. And yeah, they both got shot at their rookie seasons. Welcome to the NFL. So,
and NFC East, it's the easiest division to pick. It's going to be the Eagles. Yeah. Howie Roseman's worked another masterclass. How do you let Jahad Campbell get to the end of the first round
and fall to the Eagles?
You know Howie Roseman, and he's proved to us before. Cooper DeJean last year.
Yep.
You let him fall to the end of I think it was first or second round, and they took him. He had the Super Bowl clinching interception.
Yep.
Who do you have in the AFC?
AFC, I'll start with the East. I would love to say the Patriots, but no, I don't think it's going to be them. I think they're here. I think it's the Bills division to lose. Josh Allen, this could be the year that they finally get past Kansas City in the playoffs. So my pick is the Bills. I think it's going to be the Bills and the Patriots. I think the Dolphins are going to fall a little bit. And the Jets are the Jets. They just find ways to lose football games. But they have a new head coach. A new era is starting,
Well, and people are already saying, there's another quarterback on the Jets that could take Justin Fields' job.
Well, again, we haven't played a snap yet. And if we get the Justin Fields that went 4-2 as a Steeler last season, I think the Jets are in good shape. So
I do too, and I think he might be their savior. Who do you have in the AFC West?
The West, it's a 3-team.
To me, it's a crapshoot between 3 teams.
I'm going to go on a long limb, and I'm going to say the Denver Broncos. I'm going to go on a long limb. I think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Chargers right there. I know I talked about the Raiders. Obviously, I picked Pete Carroll as my coach of the year. The Raiders are going to win more games than they did a year ago. Not saying that they're, like I said, they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Could you see 3 teams from that division getting in the playoffs?
That might be the team that wins the 2 wildcard spots. I could definitely see that, because I think all those teams, I think the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos will all win either 9 or more by the end of the year. That's my pick for there. So,
who do you have in the AFC South?
It's got to be the Houston Texans. It's got to be. I mean, I know their quarterback had a bad second year, but Houston's a good football team. They have a good head coach. Indianapolis is Tennessee's. They have Cam Ward, and Jacksonville. We'll see with Liam Cohen how that works out, but I'm going to take Houston.
And the $50 million man.
Yep. Oh, yes, Mr. Hunter. Yes. Yep.
No. I'm not talking about Travis Hunter.
Oh.
Talking about the
Trevor
$50 million quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence. Okay.
Yes. And then who do you have in the North? Please tell me it's not the Steelers.
No, it's not the Steelers. No. This is an easy one too. It's got to be the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is. They have a good offense. They've got a good defense, and Harbaugh is a good head coach.
John is better than Jim.
John. I think Cincinnati and Pittsburgh will be battling. Cleveland's Cleveland. Cleveland's Cleveland.
My AFC division winners. AFC East, I've got the Bills.
Okay.
Obviously, it's Joshua Allen. AFC West, I'm going to say the Broncos. Bo Nix,
I like
Evan
that pick.
Ingram, RJ Harvey is going to be a really good rookie, even though he went to UCF.
Barf.
Yeah. AFC South, Texans. AFC North, I think the Bengals put it all together this year and they win the AFC North.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Shiesty. Now we get to the playoffs. And we start with the NFC. And I'll go first. I have the Lions as the 1 seed, the Rams as the 2, 3 Eagles, 4 Buccaneers, 5 Bears, 6 Packers, and 7th Falcons. And let me circle back around. The reason I have the Lions number 1, it's kind of obvious. I think they're going to win 15 games again this year and only lose maybe 2 or 3 games. Rams 2. Obviously, they still got Matthew Stafford. And there's been talks that Aaron Donald, if the Rams can get Micah Parsons,
come out of retirement.
Aaron Donald might unretire and come back to the Rams, which that would make that defense even more scary.
Yep.
The Eagles are my 3 seed. Kind of obvious. Howie Roseman. That Eagles defense is just unfair. Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter, Jahad Campbell, not Quinion Mitchell. Just we'd be here all night. We'd be here for the next 5 hours if I kept talking about the Eagles defense. And the MVP that nobody talks about, he's not even on the team. He's on the sideline. Is Big Dom. There's security. Obviously, 4 seed is the Buccaneers. Do we even need to say why? Baker Mayfield. I know Todd Bowles gets a lot of slack, but I'm one of the people that's come around on Todd Bowles. At one point, I was like, Todd Bowles needs to go. We need somebody new in here. But Todd Bowles, decently good head coach. And yes, we know he's a defensive-minded head coach. That's kind of obvious. Bears at 5. My 5 seed's the Bears. We just talked about how Ben Johnson's changing the culture there. I think they sneak into the playoffs. Packers at 6. That's kind of obvious. Jordan Love. And they've only got 1 healthy receiver. Christian Watson's out. Jaden Reed is hurt. Romeo Dobbs is hurt. So their first round pick, Matthew Golden and Tucker Kraft, are the only 2 healthy receivers they have right now. But that defense, you saw what the Packers defense did last year. And then number 7 is that I do think the Falcons sneak into the playoffs. Michael Penix. And I think this is finally, I'm not saying take him in fantasy, but I think this is finally the year. And I know people are getting tired of it, but I think this is finally the year Kyle Pitts has a breakout season.
Loved him at the Florida. He did very well with the Gators. But yeah.
Those are my NFC playoff picks. Who are yours?
My number 1 seed is the Eagles. I think they dominate again. Number 2 is the Lions. Though even though I picked Green Bay to win the division, they're they're going to be there. 3 is the Packers, which I don't know how that could fold out, but it can fold out that way. 4 is the Buccaneers. I think we established that.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, we are not being biased toward the Buccaneers.
No. I mean, I grew up in Tampa Bay. I went to old Tampa Stadium before Raymond James even existed. Raymond James actually was in the parking lot of where for Tampa Stadium back in the day. So, yeah, I have that there. The Rams, I think, were the next team I had. And then I have Atlanta. And let's see. Who am I forgetting here? So I got the Packers. The Lions are in there too. The Lions have to be in there. I don't think I said the Rams. I'll put the
Yes,
Rams.
you did.
I just said the Rams. Okay.
So you have 2 NFC North, the Buccaneers. Oh no, you have 3. You said the Packers, the Lions.
Packers and the Lions are in there.
So there's 2.
I'm sorry. It would be Washington, the Commanders. That would
okay.
be
So two NFC East, 2 NFC North, 2 NFC South, and 1 NFC West.
Correct. That's correct. Yep.
Okay. So now we get to the AFC playoff picture. And I have the Bills as the 1 seed, Broncos as 2, Texans 3, Bengals 4, Chiefs at the 5. So I have the Chiefs playing in the wild card round. Patriots at 6, Ravens squeak in at 7.
I've got
and I'm going to explain why. The Bills, number 1, it's obviously Josh Allen. And I know what people are say, Josh Allen's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. You're giving him all these weapons, and he's done nothing. He won MVP last year. He was the league MVP.
Yep. That he was.
Last year. Number 2, the Broncos. We just talked about it. I think they're going to win that division. They improved. They brought in J.K. Dobbins. They brought in Evan Ingram. Now, their wide receiver room is still a little bit of a mess. I mean, you got Cortland Sutton. Marvin Mims kind of broke out at the end of last year. Troy Franklin. I think Troy Franklin is going to have a big year this year. Just going out on a limb. Texans 3. And CJ Stroud is the real deal, as many people know. Bengals 4. It's all going to depend on if they can keep all 3 receivers healthy. Higgins, Chase, and no, there's only 2.
I say Higgs, yeah.
Higgins and Chase.
Yep.
And Burrow. If they can keep all 3 of those guys, and Chase Brown. If they can keep those 4 guys healthy, they should be in good shape. 5, the Chiefs. You can't leave Mahomes out of the playoffs.
No.
It's just like trying to leave Brady out of the playoffs when he was with New England. Oh, that very rarely happened. 6, Patriots. Drake May's got all the weapons in the world now. I think the Patriots are going to sneak into the playoffs. And the Ravens. I think this is the year if the Ravens see the Chiefs in the playoffs, they beat the Chiefs. Who are your playoff teams in the AFC?
I have the Bills 1, Ravens 2, Broncos 3, Texans 4, Chiefs 5, Chargers 6, Bengals 7.
Okay. Who is your Super Bowl, and tell me who wins?
Wow. I this is a tough one. I'm gonna go the Lions and the Bills.
That's what a lot of people are picking.
The This is Detroit's year. This because with those two teams, you have two franchises that have never won one, and Buffalo's been heartbroken.
Well, I mean, you could also put the Bengals in there too. They've never won a Super Bowl.
True, you can put them in there. I don't think the Chargers ever won one either. LA
No.
or San Diego.
But so
Yeah.
that's your Super Bowl.
Mhm.
My Super Bowl, and this team's in the thumbnail. I have the Bengals and Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. And I
Okay.
have the Bengals finally getting over the hump and winning their first Super Bowl.
Mhm.
And now we're going to briefly talk about some guys that we think might get moved. And we're going to start with the obvious one. Brian Robinson from the Commanders with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt probably being the week 1 starter. And where's Austin Eckler? I thought he was on the command.
That's a good question.
Actually, wait, I think he's a free agent.
Is he a free agent? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, like we said, being probably the week 1 starter, what are 3 landing spots you have for Brian Robinson Jr.?
He's a wide receiver, bud. Is that what?
No, he's running back.
Oh, running back. See who needs running help right now, and then in the let's see teams that need.
Texans. I mean, Joe Mixon hasn't touched.
How about
yet.
How about Arizona? How about the Cardinals? Or you think?
Yeah, but then that knocks. The problem is that would knock Trey Benson down a depth chart, and they've got James Conner.
True.
And they've already talked about how it might be a not committee, but it might be like a 1A, 1B for Benson and Connor this year.
How about Carolina outside of Chuba Hubbard?
You know what? I could see that. So,
and maybe Dallas? Is Dallas?
Yep, they said Dallas was one of the teams, but I can't
Division
see
rival.
that.
Division rival too, so
yeah, I can't see that happening.
Other than
the Commanders would go to their deathbed if they did that.
Other than that, I mean, maybe no, because Jacksonville draft
Chargers, maybe
could be LA. I was gonna say LA. That's fine. Yeah, you could put them in there. Yeah.
I agree with you on all the teams you said there. Terry McLaurin, does he get moved, or do the Commanders give him the money he wants?
I think he stays in Washington. Jaden Daniels is, as you saw last year, one of the bright futures at quarterback.
Well, and then people are saying, oh, because they've seen videos of Debo. They're like, oh, Debo looks washed. He looks slow.
He's getting to that point where he's past the prime of his career. But he's going to help him. I think I saw something the other day that the Commanders are going to go kind of throwback to the Redskin days with their uniforms. I don't know if you've seen the new uniforms.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool. There's some cool NFL jerseys that are coming out this year for teams, but I think he stays in Washington. I think they come to an agreement and he stays.
What do you think? Do you think it goes down to like right before the first game of the season?
Probably, because him and his agent will go back and forth. They'll try to figure something out before the start of and if not, if he sits out a week or two and comes in, but then if you sit out a week or two, now you're behind the 8 ball because you got to catch up with, being on the field actively playing. So that's going to be something. If you don't get in before the season starts, get reps in, because that's you get rust as a player. So,
what if you had to try to predict a contract for McLaurin, what do you think it would be?
Well, he wants what? Who's the highest
He
paid?
wants what Metcalf got from the Steelers, which I love Terry McLaurin, but I don't think he's worth that kind of money.
No, he'll get a second tier wide receiver contract because I mean, yes, he is the main weapon for the Commanders. But no, I think he'll get a second tier contract as far as wide receivers go.
Okay. And I agree with what you said there. So why don't we tell everybody why there's no show next Thursday?
Oh, why there is no show next Thursday? Oh, that's right. I will be at the USF Boise State game next Thursday night under the lights at Raymond James Stadium, and the Bulls will be in their all black uniforms. It's a blackout game. And if you do not know, USF for the first time since I think the early 2000s will open up against 3 ranked top 25 teams to start their season. Number 25, Boise State, number 15, Florida, and number 10, Miami, in that order. But yes, I will be at the USF game, and Alec will be enjoying doing his fantasy draft next Thursday night. I messed up yesterday when we were texting. I'm like, what we talking about no show? I'm like, oh, that's right. I'll be at the USF game. So yes, I will be at the Bulls game next Thursday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. I actually moved that fantasy draft to Wednesday. So Thursday night, I will be doing a play-by-play for the USF game at 5:30, as well as at 9 o'clock that same night, Nebraska and Cincinnati. So I'll be giving you a double dose of college football play-by-play. And then Saturday, I will also be doing LSU and Clemson. And if you want to join Saturday night,
if I can, but what time is the game on Saturday?
7:30.
I'll be at a baseball game, but if I'm home in time, I might hop on with you.
Okay. If not, we can always plan something.
I think
later down the road.
I'm good, bud. Let me look at my calendar here real quick. I'm good the following Saturday. Oh no, I'm sorry, I won't be. I'm leaving to go on my vacation the following week. Never mind. I'll be on vacation.
We could do one later in the season.
That's very doable. That's very doable.
But tell them about your show on Thursday this week.
So Thursday we're back, guys. Last week we were once again joined by Nicole Fleece, the up-and-coming LPGA Tour star. Nice to have her on again. We're going to get back to the basics. We're going to talk about the NFL. Obviously, we're a couple weeks away from the season starting. We'll go through the preseason. And, like what me and Al just did, maybe we'll go through and ask our other two co-hosts what their predictions are for records and division winners and playoffs. We can do that. I've got some articles for college football, which we're on the precipice of being the start of zero. And I will be this Friday night calling my first high school football game. So high school football has already started in the state of Florida. So I'll be calling my first high school football game on Friday night. I'm going to try to get them to let me use the Wi-Fi. If I can, it will be live. And I'll send everybody the link so you can hear me do play-by-play for high school football on Friday night. But we'll be back to the basics on Thursday, and Alec will be there, and Louie and Adam will all be there. Maybe possibly Gerald. There's rumors about that. So
there's rumblings.
Rumblings, yes, rumblings about that.
But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up tonight's episode of the PNW Sports Report. We will be back on Thursday night at 5:30, the same time as tonight.
Mm-hmm.
For Bradley and Alec, please remember, if you have enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video, as it helps push it out to more people.
Mm-hmm.
and check out the community polls that I've been putting out. I have updated my schedule since it is football season. There's a few days that I've changed around. No videos on Wednesdays. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday are the days with the occasional play-by-play for college football games on a Saturday or a Thursday night. But other than that, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday are the days that you'll see me do videos. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30 at this time, you will see Bradley and I with the PNW Sports Report. But until in the meantime and in between time, the best duo on YouTube sports podcasting is signing off.
Good night, guys.